Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana. Welcome to Fun Friday, as I like to sometimes call it, because today's the day when I take something like a 3D design or a fancy fold and I show you how to make it. And today's project, I really like it because it takes something that Stampin' Up! Already gives us, the pillow box dies, and I've created something bigger or better that can be take a small favor and make it larger. So, for example, this is one of the little pretty pillow boxes I made for today. And I made 3 of them. And then I put them into this beautiful gift box right here. So that takes your little tiny pillow box and turns it into something bigger. So I'm going to show you how to make them. And I did a different design as well. These are just kind of little, kind of Santa elf-esque little boxes. And the nice thing about it is the pillow boxes, I'm going to show you how to make them, but they're not difficult to make. And so you can make a bunch of these and you're not going to go crazy. But the design of the pillow box is just very cute. It's a different shape. It's a difficult shape to make just from a scoring board all by yourself. So it's nice to have that die that does the cutting and the scoring for you, so you're not having to struggle with that. And then we make a nice little box for it, and there we go. And I will have a project sheet for all my email list subscribers, and that will be sent out on Saturday. If you want to get out on my email list, just check down below in the description of the video, and there is a link. And Saturdays is the day that I send them out. And I know people love them because it makes it easier to follow. My video today, I take my time and I go in depth. It's not a short video generally, but I hope it's going to show you how to do things. So if you ever need to refer back, then you can refer back. Go back to the spot in the video that you need to see. You don't have to watch the whole thing over again. And I always love everyone who joins me live. I see a bunch of you on here already. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have a question along the way, I hope you will ask it so that I can answer it live. And if you're watching it after the fact, please leave me a comment or subscribe to my channel, or leave me a question so that I can answer it later on. All right, I am going to switch over to my other camera. Oh, okay. For some reason, my other camera, I had this problem last Friday, didn't I? It's not, I'm going to have to plug it in. I had to turn it off, turn it on, plug it in. And it didn't happen on Tuesday. So that's the weird thing. So let me turn this on again. And there's my host code. That just came up randomly too. I gotta love it when things like that happen, right? You're just like, ugh. Okay, let me see if I can plug this in and get it to go. Okay, wait, I think, no. Oh, there we go. Yay, it worked. All right, I'll have to try that next time ahead of time, because that's now that it's happened twice to me. Okay, so let's delve into this project. And doesn't the window sheet make it look professional and wonderful? So those are the boxes, and here are the pretty pillow box dies. They come with this die that's going to create your pillow box. They also come with this cute little label here and a tag, so you can use those on the pillow box. They come with these flowers that create this little kind of poinsettia guy right here. And if you want to see how to make that, 2 weeks ago I did a video on the pretty pillow boxes and I showed you how to make that little flower. It's not hard. You just nest the 2 flowers together and I kind of interweave them, and then I take a third flower of the same size and I create little leaves with it. So that's so you can use those little ones. Here's another label, and here's some edges for the top of the pillow box. So this is a really useful die. It creates nice little small favors. And then I'm going to be using the Christmas to Remember stamp set. I'll be using Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. I think that kind of encompasses both boxes really well. And it fits this label right here. So let's start off with that, because I found with this one, it's better to stamp first and then cut. And so let's do all of our die cutting all at once so I don't have to bring out the die cut machine again. So I'm going to use my Real Red ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp this. This is just a piece of basic white, and I'm just going to stamp this on here. And I found just the stamping first and then die cutting afterwards, I could get a better centering on there. Okay, let me stick this over here. Let me stick this here. Okay, let's grab my die cutting machine, and we're going to cut that little label first. So just remember, this is the Stampin' Up die cutting machine. If you have this one, use the base platform number 1, thin die adapter number 2, one of the clear plates, which is labeled 3, and I think this one's a little flatter. I like to use the flattest plate on the bottom, and then I'll use a number 3 on top. So then we'll put our greeting here and our die, and I'm just going to, because this is just a little bit bigger than my die, I want to center the holly and the jolly on there. It's just going to come off, and I'm trying to kind of make sure that Christmas is centered kind of down at the bottom. I'm just going to shove this just a little bit like that, and then I'll put my second plate on top, and we're going to run that right through the die cutting machine so we have it. This is going to go on our box afterwards. Just that cute little greeting right there. And then we're going to die cut one of the pillow boxes. You're going to need 3 of these, but I'll just show you how to do one for the sake of the video. This piece that I have here is about 6 inches by 4.5. So I just kind of cut it to that size to begin with. That way I can just really easily run it through, and there's not a whole bunch of extra cardstock that I have to deal with. And so then I'll just do the same sandwich as before, and I'm going to run this through. When I run it through, I'm going to come through once, and I'm going to roll back over top. This cardstock, it's going to score your cardstock at the same time as cutting it, but the score lines get a little bit deeper if I go back and forth. So if you have problems with the sandwich on this, and if you find it ever cuts through your lines, you might have a slightly different calibrated machine. And so then what I suggest is keeping, actually getting rid of the thin die adapter, okay, and then having your cutting plate, your paper, your cutting plate, and then you're going to use, let me just grab it, I'm going to run across the room. And grab my other plate, this plate number 4. Okay, so then use number 4 on top, and then try it that way. You could also try shimming it up with some cardstock underneath to give it a little bit more height. But generally, I find if you have a problem with cutting things through the cardstock, then the sandwich will work well. Use base platform number 4, clear plate 3, your cardstock with your die, and then the number 4 plate, and that comes with your machine, so you don't have to buy an extra plate or anything. All right, let's work on this little guy, and I have some tips for you on how to do it with cardstock, because when I did it with designer series paper, it was a little softer and easier to work with. Cardstock's a little bit more stiff, so I'll show you a couple of tips with that. So I'm going to start with my lines that are horizontal. So I fold them and then I'll use my bone folder to smooth them out. So just kind of carefully get them going. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do these little ones on the side. So I start at the middle. I kind of support with my thumb and finger right beside the score line, and then I just start kind of pressing down gently, and I'm kind of forming it along my fingers to kind of help it along that score line. And I'm going to do the same for this one, and I just kind of make sure, especially right at the ends, that it folds where it should go. And I will tell you, the first time you do one of these, you might feel like you're all thumbs, but it does get a lot easier. Just need to do a few and then you'll get a feel for it, and then you'll be making them up really quickly in no time. So I'm just kind of going slow here. Okay. This box has such a nice shape to it. That's what I love about it. It's very festive. Okay, so now that we've got these two, the other thing I noticed was that the pillow box, it's like a pillow, it bows out a bit. So if you have like a bottle, I'm using my Stampin' Mist bottle right here, but if you have a bottle, this one's about, let me measure it for you so you know the diameter. It's about 1.25 inches in diameter. Maybe 1.5 inches would work as well. But if you have like a bottle in your kitchen or something like that that you can use, if you just kind of do this, kind of form it around the bottle, just press down a little bit, you're just going to kind of help the bowing of the box a little bit, and it's just going to come together a little easier. And I also do that for the lid, because the lid also kind of bows out a little bit. Okay, so there we go. So now we kind of got the box formed a little bit in the way it needs to go. And another tip I realized after the last video, while I was making a bunch of these pillow boxes for my gift set, I realized there is a easier way to get the glue on there if you're making a lot of them. So what you're going to do, if you're not going to decorate them up any further, you're just ready to make the box, you're going to form your box without adhesive. Get it settled, get it, you know, exactly where the sides need to be, press down, make sure nothing's bent over, it looks and feels good. So get it settled like that, and then you're going to hold one end and you're going to open up this one end, and you're going to put your tombow on one end at a time. And then you're going to kind of press down just a little bit, and then switch from pressing down, and then take your finger, your pointer finger on the inside, and press down with your thumb, and get that nice and sealed up and aligned. Okay, and then we'll come to the other side, get it formed back where it needs to be. Okay, and then we'll flip up that little piece and then put the tombow on there. And then we'll do the same thing with the other side. We're going to press down. This makes it just a little bit easier, because I found I was putting the glue on flat and then I was getting the glue on my fingers as I was trying to form that little curve. So if you do the curve first and then just put tombow on the sides one bit at a time, it will work really well. Okay, so this box is supposed to kind of be an elf box with an elf belt. This color is a granny apple green. So we'll flip down the lid, and this is what the box looks like. It's got a nice puff to it. So I'm going to add a belt to it. So this is a piece of basic black cardstock. It measures 8.5 by 1/2 inch. So I did try it both ways. I tried to score it and I tried just wrapping it around. I liked the wraparound method a little bit more than scoring it beforehand. The scoring kind of made it look a little too boxy, and a belt is not meant to have hard angles. So I'm just going to layer this right on the front, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to somewhat center this on here. And then I'll take it and I'll just bend over, and I'll come around to the side and I'll bend over again. Okay. Then I'll go to the other side, bend this over, and then bend it over again. And it's tight, but not super tight, because we want that pillow to still be in effect. Come to the back and take one of the ends and put Tombow on about 1 inch of the end. And then you're going to come through and just align it. And you're not going to have, at this point, you're not going to have a lot to press down on, because there's nothing inside the box, unless you want to put some candy in the box right away. You're not going to have anything to press down on. So you're just going to kind of gently press it with your fingers so the box doesn't, shift or anything like that. So press down. You want to make sure that that adheres without popping off. Now you might be wondering, well, Brenda, now I've sealed the box. I'm going to have to destroy this belt to get in there. But no, that's not the case. So here's one I made earlier. I don't want to touch this one yet because the glue's still drying. And if I manipulate it now, it's going to come undone. So this is one I did earlier, and it's using real red cardstock. And so to open the box, I just slide down the belt just a little bit. It's probably about less than ½ an inch. I slide it down, and now I can access the lid. And so you can make these boxes in advance and then put the candy in there afterwards. Or if someone's taking the candy out, they can slide down the belt a little bit and access the candy. So then you just tuck it behind the belt again, and then you can move the belt back up into spot, right? So this is a clever way to keep this closed without ruining the packaging each time. So then to just finish off the front of the box, I'm going to use gold foil sheet. Gold foil sheet is such a standard thing to have in the craft room, and a little piece of basic black. Okay, it doesn't want to come out of my basket. There we go. All right, so this little gold square is 3/4 of an inch. So I just cut a strip of 3/4 inch gold foil and then cut off a chunk of 3/4 inch. So 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. And this little black guy is 3/8 by 3/8. Done the same way. I had a strip of cardstock that was 3/8 of an inch wide, and I just cut off 3/8 inch chunks for my buckles. And then it's easier to put the Tombow on the gold foil sheet than it is to put it on the black thing, because you might get glue on yourself. So just put a little dot in the middle of the gold foil sheet. And this is going to slide around for a little bit until it dries. So just try not to touch it until it's really solid. And then we're going to, again, put the Tombow on the bigger piece right here, just in the center. And then we'll just press this down. Just make sure it's centered. This is a very simple design, and I like it because it looks kind of adult, even though it's whimsical because it's like Elf and Santa, but it's, it's not, it's simple, right? You can make a lot of these very easily. All right. Okay, so I've got a box. I did a red box, so I've got my elf box, my Santa box, and then I was like, what can I make that matches? So you could make whatever you wanted. You could make it into a gingerbread man, like put little dots down it. But you know what I thought? I made this out of cinnamon cider, and I thought to myself, you know what? The reindeers probably have a little collar. So this is my reindeer representation and the collar. So this is the Santa belt, elf belt, and a reindeer collar. So hence the 3 different colors. That's how I came up with them. So those are going to go inside my box. So let's set those aside for a moment and let's create a box for the front. So I've got a sheet of thick basic white, and I do want to use a thick cardstock or a regular cardstock here because this cardstock needs to be a box, so it needs to not be the regular basic white is a little bit too white. I can't say that, lightweight. So I'm using the thick here, and then let me grab my scoring tool. So let me give you the dimensions on the box bottom. This measures 7 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to score at the 7/8 inch mark on all 4 sides. So let's do that. 7/8 turn, 7/8 turn, 7/8 turn, and 7/8 and turn it. All right, I'm gonna grab my trimmer. My trimmer takes turns going all across my room. So you can do one of 2 things when you are creating this box. So I like to cut up on the short side, and you just cut up on the score line up until that first score intersection. So you can cut here, can you see that? And then turn around and cut here and cut here, okay? But if you do it on the trimmer, it's always gonna be straighter. So I just line up the score line on the trimmer to the 7/8 inch mark, and I'm gonna keep this guide up with my finger so it's not cutting there. I'm going to line it up on this line right here and cut, then lift, come down to the other line and cut. So this gives me really, really straight cuts, which I could also do with my scissors really easily. But if you want to make it look just 100%, then this is the way to go. And I don't know, I think it's just once you get into a rhythm of it, it's probably just as easy to do it this way as it is to do it with scissors. So one way or the other, just make sure you cut up on the ends like that. All right, so now we're going to fold on the score lines. Make them nice and crisp with your bone folder. And then this last one. All right. Okay, so now we're going to put Tombow on all of those 4 end tabs. You can do this one at a time, but I like to live dangerously. And I don't mind getting sticky fingers. It's one of the hazards of being a paper crafter. So then you're just going to take these one at a time and bring them together. And just hold each corner for a few seconds. And then bring in the next corner. And I realized earlier that I didn't get my window sheet cut to the right dimensions, but that's okay because I'm going to show you what a window sheet looks like in its biggest form. And then we'll cut it down to the right size. All right, so here is the box base. And now you can just add your little boxes. So before I add the little boxes, I will tell you this is what I used for the inside this time. Ghirardelli minis. Make sure you get the minis. The regular Ghirardelli squares are too big for the pillow boxes, so you need the minis. And I found this holiday assortment at my local grocery store. So this one has it has the peppermint bark, it has caramel, and it has actually two caramels: dark chocolate sea salt caramel and milk chocolate caramel. So these are really nice chocolates. So again, you can just slide, and these look really nice. You can put 2 in each and then close it up, or you can put whatever candy you want. All right, you're not stuck with just using this candy, but this one does fit nicely in here and it looks nice, and Ghirardelli is generally liked by many people. So anyway, so you just put your little boxes inside here. They fit really nicely in here, and now we just need like a little window sheet covering so you can see inside, but it still is a box, and all of these little guys are protected. So let's grab my cutter and a window sheet. I've got a box full of all my specialty papers. Here is one. This one. I got some smaller sheets. So window sheet is clear. So let's have a look. Is this okay? So we're going to use this side right here. We're going to cut it to 6 inches by 5 inches. Actually, if you go a little bit less on the 6-inch side, like go 1/16 less, that would be really good. Let me lift this up and go this way. All right, so 6 inches by 5 inches. And on the 5-inch side, it should be accurately 5 inches. Okay. It's very hard to show window sheet on camera because it's so clear. Then what we're going to do is we'll take our scoring tool and put the 5-inch side up at the top. I'm going to use the small ball because I want to make a kind of the deepest indent as I can. I love Stampin' Up! Window sheet, but it's a little stiff, so you're going to need to work it a little bit. So the 5-inch side's up at the top, and we're going to score at the 3/4 of an inch mark. And I'm just going to kind of go over it twice, and then at the 4 1/4 inch mark. All right, so you can kind of see that I've got both of those sides scored. Now the best way I've found to fold this window sheet is to take a ruler and line it right up with your score line. I have a steel edge ruler, that kind of works the best. But if you can have something flat and hard, and then I just press on there and use that to fold over my piece. And then once you've got it going, you can actually take your bone folder and give it a nicer edge to it. Okay, so that's how I do folding with my window sheet. I just kind of look for my score line, line it up, and then fold it along a steel edge or something like that, and then press down on it, and then give it that final burnish with your bone folder, and then fold it out. And this stuff looks really professional when you do it. Okay, so let's slide this in here. So this will tuck into your box, and if you did just under 6 inches, 1/16 inch less, it should fit really nicely in there. See how nice that is? Okay, snug as a bug in a rug. Okay, so now we just need to tie some ribbon around there to make it look a little special. And this ribbon is really pretty. This is the glittered organdy ribbon. So it's got a little sparkle to it, but it's not going to take away from the boxes on the inside. So we're just going to wrap this around here. Let's see. And just give yourself enough ribbon. Grab my ribbon scissors. Give yourself enough ribbon to come around here. Let's measure it so I can tell you about how much you'll need. So, about 15 inches of ribbon, 15-inch length. And I'm going to tie it right in between two of the boxes, the top and the second and the middle box. And then I'll just do my first knot right here. And then I'll grab my locking tweezers to kind of get that knot going. And then we'll do a second knot. Okay. And this whole ribbon thing can slide off afterwards, right? So if you need to access the box, you can slide the ribbon back on. And then we're just going to cut on an angle. And you know me, you could thread this on here. You need to put a little hole on here. So let me grab, I've got a 1/8 inch hole punch here. And I'm just going to punch a hole. Use whatever method you want to punch a hole. You could use a piercing tool. You could use a crocodile. And they also sell handheld 1/8 inch punches that you can use. And then what I'll do is I just like to make a little cut from the outside to the hole. So just like there's a little cut. Because I don't like to thread my tag on while I'm tying. It drives me crazy. So instead, I kind of use that little cut to insert my ribbon in there. And then it still holds together. Unless you're going to tug on the tag, that tag will stay on there without coming off. So then that little tag is the one that I stamped earlier. So that is all there is to the box. And I wanted to mention, I designed this window sheet. It's 5 by 6 inches approximately. So you can get 4 lids out of one window sheet from Stampin' Up, because they start off as a 12 by 12 piece. So, and you get 2 12 by 12 sheets in a package. So just so you know how much window sheet you would need to buy. So you get 4 of these out of one, so you would get 8 lids out of one package of window sheet. So there is the box. And you do the same thing if you want to make the other pillow boxes. And I'm not going to make them here because I did make them 2 weeks ago, and I showed you how to do them with this paper. So the paper that I use though is the gingerbread and peppermint 6 by 6. So it's kind of already cut perfectly for a run through with a pillow box die. And I just folded it the same way. The belt is old olive. The little flower is real red. And I did the little leaves also in old olive. And it's the same thing. You know, you pull down the belt. You can access the inside. Ooh, there's a chocolate in here. Yay. So, and it fits 2 chocolates. You can definitely put 2 pieces of chocolate in here. I like to line them up first and then stick them in there. So see how nicely that fits in there? Let me bend back a little bit. See how nicely they fit in there? It's a nice fit for that. In my video 2 weeks ago, I took out a whole bunch of different candy and I fit it in here. So if you want to see what other candy fits in there, find my video from 2 weeks ago and you'll be able to see what other candy fits in here if you don't want to use Ghirardelli minis or just experiment, right? and then that little thing will tuck in. And I just chose different colors or different patterns of the paper. The box and the lid are made in the same way. Tag is in the same way, same ribbon. So basically you can do either one of these. And I think both of them look nice, and they make it a little bit more of a gift. When you hand this out, this is more like a favor box, but when you hand this out, it looks like a gift. It would make a nice little host gift. So it's just a little bit more substantial than just one of these. So I hope that helps you stretch your pillow box dies a little bit further. Let me pop over here and create something that's, just a little bit more useful. I'll also mention you can get 2 bases of these boxes out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11. So it's also a good use of this cardstock as well, because you're going to be able to get 2 box bases out of that. All right, let me have a look at your comments. And before I do that, I just wanted to mention, here's my October host code. And if you order from me this month, where did it go? I'm going to be sending you a package of assorted glimmer paper in different colors. And these are 6 by 6 sheets. You're going to get 8 sheets. And this is great for your holiday accents. You can use it to punch out or die cut. We tend to not use a ton of glimmer paper on a card because it's like really bold and bright. So just having different colors of glittery accents is kind of fun. So you're going to get a nice little package of this in the mail in December. And so that's my ordering special, but you need to order at least $50. But if you order at least $15, you're also going to get to choose one of my tutorials. So even if you only spend a little, you'll still get a little reward in a tutorial. All right, what else do I have to tell you? Oh, all the supplies that I talked about today, they are down below in the description of my video. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll see them. I also have a nice blog post so that you can see photos and you can see a photo supply list. So I would suggest clicking on over to my blog and checking that out, because that's an easier way to see everything you'll need, because you can see the pictures and then you can match what you need with the pictures. Okay, I think I've talked about everything I need to talk about. Let's delve into the comments. Good morning, Ellie and Amy and Kristen and Deborah, Kimberly. Ellie's like, uh-oh, Ghirardelli miniatures. Is that because you like them? I really like the miniatures. They're very nice. Just make sure for these pillow boxes not to get the full-size ones. You need the minis to get them in here. So have a look. They're not as easy to find as the regular ones, but I'm sure you can find them online. They had them in my grocery store. They had this one's kind of a holiday assortment, although the only real one that looks very holiday-ish, is, I have to say, is the peppermint one. This one looks holiday. The other two don't look as holiday-ish, but they come in this nice package. So if my small grocery store will carry them, hopefully you'll find them elsewhere. I'm in the Boston area. I get mine at Star Market because it's like I can walk to my Star Market. So that poor, I think the people at that grocery store think I'm like addicted to candy, because I'm like standing at the candy aisle, like just looking at the candy and trying to think of all the possibilities of what I can do with it. And sometimes I go in the store and just buy candy, and I don't know what they must think of me. It's like, oh, she's hitting the candy again. Must be a rough day, right? So I sacrifice for you guys, right? I'm out there buying candy at the grocery store, and my sensibility is like, oh, what must people think of me? just buying up all this candy. And maybe you guys can relate too, because you probably do things for craft fairs and you probably buy big bags of Hershey's Kisses and stuff, and they're probably looking at you like, what the heck, she's got like 10 jumbo bags of Hershey's Kisses, what's she gonna do with those, right? It's kind of funny how us paper crafters are skulking about for Christmas candy even before Halloween. We're definitely a different breed of people out there, right? All right. Okay, I'm so glad you liked the project. Kristen and Jackie both liked it. And so I hope that's going to extend your use of the pillow box dies. I think they're like, they just make such cute little, a nice little host gift. And so I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will be back next Tuesday and Friday with some more projects for you. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.